Welcome back to the days. Today we dive into the swirling rumors surrounding one of Salem's most enduring icons, Dr. Marlena Evans, and whether the show is gearing up for a heartbreaking exit so soon after a major loss. The buzz around Marlena's potential farewell in the ever-twisting world of daytime drama. Whispers have emerged that Days of Our Lives might be preparing to bid adieu to the legendary Marlena Evans, portrayed by the incomparable Deidre Hall. This speculation comes hot on the heels of recent episodes hinting at her deteriorating health, leaving viewers on edge about what could be a seismic shift in the storyline. Imagine the shockwaves through Salem if this pillar of the community, known for her wisdom and resilience, were to meet an untimely end, especially with the fresh scars from another beloved character's departure still healing. Fans are piecing together clues from teasers, wondering if the writers are crafting a poignant, irreversible goodbye that ties into the show's history of emotional upheavals. Marlena's journey has always been a tapestry of triumph and turmoil, and this latest arc feels like a culmination of decades of narrative buildup. With her role as a psychiatrist often placing her at the heart of Salem's crises, the idea of her facing a life-threatening condition adds layers of intrigue, potentially exploring themes of legacy and loss in ways that resonate deeply with longtime followers. Marlena's storied arrival and legacy in Salem flashback to 1976, when Deidre Hall first graced the screens as the poised and professional Dr. Marlena Evans, stepping into Salem with an air of mystery and sophistication that immediately captivated audiences. Over the years, her character has navigated a whirlwind of personal milestones, from heartfelt weddings that united families to harrowing ordeals that tested her very soul, including not one but two chilling encounters with demonic forces that became hallmarks of the show's bold storytelling. These plot lines didn't just entertain. They redefined soap opera drama, blending psychological depth with supernatural flair, and solidified Marlena's status as a fan favorite who has outlasted countless twists. Yet, as Hall approaches her remarkable 50-year milestone on the series, anxiety brews among devotees who fear this could signal the end of an era. Picture the countless therapy sessions where Marlena mended broken hearts, or the intense family dynamics she influenced. Elements that have woven her into the fabric of Days of Our Lives. Recent promotions have amplified these concerns, showing her in vulnerable moments that echo past vulnerabilities, prompting questions about whether the producers are setting the stage for a graceful yet permanent exit. Lingering grief over John Black and actor Drake Hodgson, the Salem community, and its real-world admirers, remain in a state of profound sorrow following the passing of Drake Hodgson in September 2024, after a courageous, behind-the-scenes struggle with pancreatic cancer that caught many by surprise. Hodgson's co-stars knew of his condition, but the broader fan base was left reeling, their mourning amplified by the authenticity it brought to the screen. This talented performer first enchanted viewers in 1986 as the enigmatic figure known as the Pawn, initially mistaken for Roman Brady before evolving into the complex, heroic John Black, a role that defined loyalty and intrigue. Diagnosed in late 2023, Hodgson acknowledged the slim odds of resuming his work, leading to a collaborative decision with his family and the show's team to weave a conclusive narrative for John. This 3-month saga built to an emotional crescendo with a funeral scene brimming with tributes from on-screen loved ones, incorporating subtle nods to Hodgson's real-life battle that made every tear feel genuine. The cast's raw performances, filmed amid the actor's final days, added an unparalleled realism, blurring the lines between fiction and heartfelt farewell. Even now, the ripples continue, with Alison Sweeney reprising her role as Sammy Brady this summer to honor her stepfather, John, in episodes laced with nostalgia. But as Sammy processes her grief, could she also be confronting the loss of her mother, Marlena? Previews tease escalating family dramas that might push the widow to her limits, intertwining personal heartaches with broader Salem chaos. The dramatic collapse amid family turmoil tensions escalate in upcoming scenes where Marlena's nephew, Johnny DiMera, finds himself entangled in a high-stakes trial accused of firing the shot that wounded his father, E.J. DiMera, in a plot thick with betrayal and hidden truths. Johnny's world shattered upon learning the dark circumstances of his conception involving assault, a revelation that preceded the mysterious attack on EJ, who, despite his amnesia, staunchly defends his son's innocence while pondering the true culprit's identity. Desperate for answers, EJ turns to Marlena for her expertise in hypnosis, hoping to unlock suppressed memories of the assailant during an intense session that tests everyone's resolve. The strain proves overwhelming. Marlena suddenly falters, collapsing into the supportive embrace of Abe Carver, played by James Reynolds, in a moment that underscores her fragility this year. Bereft after losing John, her soulmate, Marlena has been uncharacteristically sharp with those around her, her grief manifesting in outbursts that signal deeper emotional erosion. Envision Marlena reflecting on past cases where she guided patients through similar losses, now applying those lessons to her own unraveling state, adding poignant introspection to her character's arc. Insights from the summer preview teasers earlier this month. A tantalizing summer trailer unveiled glimpses of Marlena confined to a hospital bed, suggesting a prolonged battle that will dominate the season's narrative. These visions include haunting dreams featuring her arch-nemesis, Stefano Di Mera, whose obsessive pursuit has shadowed her for decades, injecting a mix of psychological terror and unresolved vendettas into her current plight. Flashes harken back to the infamous Queen of the Night arc from the early 1990s, where Stefano's hypnotic schemes aim to ensnare Marlena's affections but instead open doors to otherworldly horrors, igniting one of the series' most unforgettable sagas. Fans speculate these memories are resurfacing as spectral torments, blending nostalgia with fresh suspense as Marlena confronts echoes of her tormented past. Yet, amid the dread, reassurance emerges. This plotline isn't poised to culminate in Marlena's demise. As a cornerstone of the show, cherished for her enduring spirit, and with Deidre Hall expressing no intention to depart, the storyline promises twists that honor her legacy without erasure. Inventive additions could include Marlena drawing strength from unexpected allies, like distant relatives rallying in Salem, turning vulnerability into a catalyst for new alliances and revelations that enrich the ongoing drama. Next, welcome back to the Our Birthdays channel, where intrigue, betrayal, and ambition reign supreme. In today's dramatic July 23rd episode recap, the stakes are higher than ever as old loyalties are tested and surprising alliances begin to form. Contracts are inked, secrets are bartered, and long-standing relationships face new threats in a day full of turning points. Let's unpack the most explosive developments from today's episode, and believe us, there's no shortage of drama. A dangerous deal in the Di Mera mansion. Tony makes Gabby an offer she can't refuse. Tony Di Mera, played with quiet cunning by Theo Penglis, is one of the last remaining Di Meras still fighting for the family legacy, Di Mera Enterprises. Since the Kyriakis brothers managed to wedge their way into power, the once mighty company has been slipping through Di Mera hands, leaving Tony desperate to take back control. But with few allies left in the family, he turns to someone bold, unpredictable, and fiercely ambitious. Gabby Hernandez, Sherry Jimenez. Tony arranges a private meeting with Gabby at the Di Mera mansion, cloaked in shadows and tension. Gabby, who's no stranger to playing high-stakes games, is understandably suspicious. After all, she's been burned before, and her recent connection with Xander Kyriakis, Paul Telfer, makes her hesitant to betray him, especially since he showed rare kindness after her recent ordeal. Still, Tony knows Gabby's heart, and more importantly, her ambition. He dangles a powerful carrot in front of her, the CEO chair at Di Mera Enterprises, a position Gabby once held and clearly still covets. All she has to do in return is spy from the inside at Titan Di Mera and feed Tony any incriminating evidence she can gather about Xander and Philip Kyriakis, Jean-Paul Lavoisier. First, Gabby resists. She even defends Xander, surprising Tony. "He wasn't the monster I expected after the kidnapping," she says, her voice tinged with confusion and perhaps lingering emotion. But as Tony's offer lingers in the air, something shifts. Gabby begins to imagine herself at the helm of DiMera Enterprises once again, dressed in power suits and commanding boardrooms. That kind of power is hard to turn down, especially for someone who's always fought to be taken seriously in a world dominated by powerful men. Will Gabby betray Xander and Philip to reclaim the throne at DiMera? Or will her complicated feelings for Xander and her own moral compass hold her back? It's a dangerous dance, and Gabby is just getting started. A delicate conversation. Xander and Sarah try to keep the peace while power plays were unfolding behind closed doors at the mansion. Another kind of battle was being waged elsewhere in Salem, the kind that breaks hearts and tests resolve. Xander and Sarah, Lindsay Godfrey, have shared a stormy past, but now they must face their biggest challenge yet, co-parenting their daughter in peace. Meeting in a quiet cafe, both Xander and Sarah enter the conversation with tension written all over their faces. But for once, the yelling is gone. The bitterness is dialed back. What remains is a deep, aching exhaustion and a shared love for their child. "Let's not make this harder than it has to be," Sarah says softly, glancing at Xander with guarded eyes. They're trying to work out a custody agreement, something that would have seemed impossible just weeks ago when emotions ran hot and accusations flew freely. Today, though, they're choosing civility, if only for their daughter's sake. The conversation is still layered with unspoken wounds. Sarah struggles with trusting Xander again, while Xander tries to prove he's not the man who once betrayed her so deeply. Each concession feels like a tightrope walk, but slowly, they inch toward common ground. This is a side of Xander we haven't seen much of, measured, thoughtful, and yes, maybe even a little humbled. For Sarah, it's a glimmer of the man she once loved. Could this custody agreement be the beginning of a new chapter for these two, or simply the calm before another storm? Bittersweet Goodbyes. Doug prepares to leave Salem, and Ari and Holly step up elsewhere in Salem. Emotions run high as beloved elder statesman Doug Williams prepares to leave town, possibly for good. After decades in Salem, Doug, Bill Hayes, is ready for a change of pace, but not everyone is handling the news well. Two of the youngest in the group, Ari and Holly, step forward to confront Doug before his departure. In a touching scene that had fans reaching for tissues, the girls express what Doug has meant to them, not just as a figure of the past, but as a constant presence, always offering advice, support, and gentle discipline. "You were the only one who believed in me when I felt invisible," Ari says tearfully. Holly adds, "You're part of what made this town feel like home." Doug, ever the gentleman, assures them that he'll be back to visit. But there's a heaviness in the air. Salem won't be the same without him. As Doug says his goodbyes, the next generation of Salemites begins to step into the light and into the drama. Sophia's perfect lie, and Tate's broken heart, and finally, in a scene filled with quiet devastation, Tate, Jamie Martin man, finds himself reeling after a conversation with Sophia that leaves him more confused than ever. Sophia returns to Salem with a smile that's too polished, a story that's too perfect, and Tate knows something isn't right. She explains her sudden disappearance and vague excuses with ease, but Tate doesn't buy it. "Why does it feel like you're saying everything but the truth?" he asks, his voice low and full of hurt. Sophia insists she never meant to hurt him, but her eyes flicker with something else. Regret, fear, or guilt? Tate, already grappling with rejection, betrayal, and the weight of growing up too fast in a town full of secrets, is crushed. As she walks away, he doesn't chase her. Not this time. This may be the end of Tate and Sophia, or the start of a much darker storyline. Coming up next on Our Birthdays, with power shifting and secrets mounting, Salem is bracing for a storm. Will Gabby follow through with Tony's plan and betray Titan, or will her emotions get in the way? Can Xander and Sarah truly keep the peace, or are they one fight away from imploding again? And what secrets is Sophia hiding? And why does it feel like Tate's heartbreak is just the beginning? Don't miss the next episode. The battle lines have been drawn, and every move could be fatal.